I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like everything that's meant for you in terms of like destiny, you don't forget those moments.
Right.
You remember exactly where you were. You remember the feeling. You remember who you was with. You just remember that. And it was my introduction to hip hop. I didn't know what I wanted to do in hip hop then. You know, I discovered it when I was like 9, right? Maybe I could have discovered it earlier if I had like an OG or a cousin, you know what I'm saying? An older brother.
Right.
But I was born alone basically.
Gotcha.
You know? And at 9 years old, I discovered hip hop, and it was like, I just knew something was there. Damn. You know, like it was I got my first computer when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
And I'm looking for some lyrics, right? I heard a song on the radio station.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I gotta find the song.
Shout out AZ Lyrics, bro.
It was something like that. You know, it was an old school website where you find lyrics, right? So I go and I type the lyrics, and as soon as I get on the webpage, the first song, the first video actually, was Tupac, Dear Mama.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? It's your motherfucking boy, Gamero, the Pharaoh, the poor man's Robert De Niro. You know what I'm talking about, bald version, but still beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so very ecstatic, you know what I'm talking about, to bring you another story, another episode in here, midnight in Miami studios. But before we get to introducing the powerhouse of a guest that I have today, ladies and gentlemen, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can go on Spotify, you can go on Apple Podcasts, you can go on Deezer, you can go on all that good stuff, but more than anything, hit the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got 72 damn cameras in here. And while you're at it, boom, hit that subscribe. You know what I'm talking about? That way you are in the know every single time that we have another new artist, another new athlete, whatever the guest may be that week. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, how do I put into words the excitement that I have to introduce the guest before me? Clearly, you see the man's got a phenomenal fashion sense. You know what I'm talking about? But not only does he have a phenomenal fashion sense, the man has a work ethic to be envied of. Ladies and gentlemen, the man before me is an artist, and I'd like to refer to him as a wordsmith. Because as I did my research for this upcoming episode, ladies and gentlemen, I heard many a bangers, you know what I'm talking about, and I cannot suggest this man's library more. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had the honor of having a plethora of guests before me. I've had athletes, I've had adult film stars, you know what I'm saying, shout out Sarah J. I've had artists, you know what I'm saying, I've had all sorts of walks of life. And this man here he's very similar to the work ethic of many of the UFC fighters, or bare knuckle, you know what I'm saying, shout out Uli the Monster. People that we've had on. This man puts blinders when he needs to put blinders on, and he'll go to the studio and create artistry. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor to be able to introduce, for the first time ever on the Midnight in Miami set, ladies and gentlemen, we have Apollo Lofton! My brother, what's going on?
That was a great introduction.
Thank you, man. I'm auditioning for Hype Man over here, brother.
Yeah, you got the job. For sure. You definitely got the job. I did not expect that at all. Yeah, you did amazing.
Oh, appreciate you. Apollo, first of all, thank you so much for dropping on by today.
It's my complete pleasure.
Oh, man. There are so many topics that we can get into today. So many questions that I have been sent in. But let's start with the most, I guess, with the easiest. I always kind of, start this podcast with a similar question of sorts. And that's kind of, how did the current pandemic affect your artistry? Were you able to get in more hours in the studio because maybe not as many people were recording? Were you hit by an inspiration wave and you were writing nonstop? Or maybe you had writer's block? Well, how did it affect you?
Well, in the beginning of the pandemic, I had writer's block for sure.
Word.
I'm usually in the studio 24/7. Right, I built a studio in my home, so that's why I'm able to say 24/7. I wake up and I'm like, if I want to record, I record.
Damn.
You feel me? So, but in the beginning, man, I don't know, man. I stepped into this slump.
Right.
I wasn't feeling good about myself. I wasn't eating the healthiest either, so that that contributes to it. I wasn't working out as much as I should. And you put that in combination with everything else that's going on. I'm feeling the energy. I'm feeling everybody sad. I'm feeling everybody's depressed. Everybody's like really in that low frequency.
Right.
And I just hit the zone where it's like, man, I'm not in a good place right now.
Yo, yeah, everybody was on the edge, man. And what was it that kind of got you out that funk? What got you to light that spark again?
Well, I mean, I'm always on this journey of trying to like learn myself. You know, like we're always on this journey to learn ourselves, right? Like we're gonna continue this journey until we die. Like we're never gonna stop learning. But
Big facts.
I started learning what works for me in terms of inspiration and where to look for and what to look for and who to look for. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of inspiration. So in that process of me in the bottom and feeling the way I was feeling, it's like, man, I can't continue to feel this way. So let me try to figure out what gets me out of it and get good at doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like get good at finding my inspiration. If I know that a hip hop documentary or an interview, right, from anybody that I look up to gets me out of that, then I'm digesting that. That's what I'm looking at, you know? So I got pretty good at learning myself in terms of like my negative aspects, my low frequency vibrations of how to get out of that.
Do you think that you're at a place that you can use those negative frequencies to your advantage? Maybe get a song out of it?
For sure. Yeah. For sure. A lot of songs come from those negative frequencies, right? Like negative situations that happen to you, the pain, right? Your traumas, the uncomfortable situations. A lot of music comes from that. I was saying the other day, like as much as music comes from a happy place, it equally comes from a negative place, from a sad place, from a place of pain, from a place of darkness. You feel me? So yeah, man, I got multiple songs out of it. You know, I even got a concept out of it. Chaos is Necessary. That's my next album.
Oh,
you know,
shit.
Chaos is necessary. We like to look at the bad stuff that happens to us as if like, man, I don't want to go through that. Why am I going through this? But now I'm learning like this is never going to go away.
It's never going to go away.
It's never going to go away. So why run away from it? Or why make it harder for yourself? Why complicate yourself? You're still going to go through pain. You're going to go through losses. You're going to go through trauma. You're going to be uncomfortable. Why run away from it? So I switched it. It's like, nah, this is necessary. So now when something punches me in the face, it's like I'm supposed to get punched in the face. But it's all about how I maneuver through that.
Rolling with the punches.
Rolling with the punches.
Oh, man, that's fucking phenomenal. If something does kind of happen, you know what I'm saying, something negative in your life, how long do you give yourself to process it and then write about it, or are you writing about it right then with a jar full of pain?
Nah, bro, like I don't even put no time limit on it. You know, I kind of just go with my gut, with my feelings. So if like something bad happens and if I need to grieve or I need to feel that emotion for a few days, then I do that. And if I need to feel it for a few weeks, then I do that. But I'm not staying there. You know, it hardly ever gets past a month or two. I'm not staying there long enough to make that my reality.
How long did it take you to have this tool set in your belt? Because not everybody can do what you do.
In terms of what, like tool set?
In the sense of being able to get something, roll with the punches. In the sense of you taking something negative and making something positive out of it.
How long did it take me to do that? I'm still in the process of getting good at it, you know. But probably like when I dropped my first album, Truth Is I'm Terrified, I was rediscovering myself and like again going through that process of growth, right? So somewhere around there, I started getting pretty good at it. Pretty good at like getting from that bag. Okay. I'm good at looking at the world and describing it how I see it, right? And I'm good at like, you know, just rapping, right? You got that category of rap where you're just rapping and you're going at somebody's neck, whether that's like you know that person or you make somebody up. Right? But, you know, I'm good at drawing from my inspirations in the world around me.
Right.
But when that first album dropped, I got really good at like inside.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get more from inside. You know, there's a lot of things that we go through that maybe we don't express. You know?
Of
so
course.
It's like learning to be comfortable with that, which in turn you get comfortable with yourself. And once you start getting comfortable with yourself, your truth is no longer like, you're not ashamed of it.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's me, like whatever.
Right.
Like it's the shit that I've been through. I can curse on it.
Of course.
All right, I'm good. I don't want to get
No,
sensitive.
you good, bro. You good.
Yeah, bro, like the shit that we go through, like, it is what it is. Everybody got a story. Everybody got their sad story. Everybody goes through shit. So if this is the shit that was presented to me, this is my deck, I'm rocking that deck. But with a smile on my face. I'm not ashamed of it no more. And now I can talk about it, you know?
I respect your transparency because not a lot of artists are transparent like you are, man.
Like I told you off camera, I'm gonna have my yay moment. You know, it's just like I don't want to have no filter.
Right. Shout out Drink Champs, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Drink Champs.
Shout out Drink Champs.
Yes,
for
sir.
Sure. And shout out to DJ EFN.
Yes,
the
sir.
OG.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're waiting for you here. You know what I'm saying? That's an upcoming episode. A little sneak peek right there. Apollo, talk to me about the roots. You know, all the way back. You know, what was it? Middle school pen beats. You know what I'm saying? What was it that first kind of gave you that bug about music? You know what I'm saying? At what point did you know it was music or bust?
Well, it was my introduction to hip hop for sure. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like everything that's meant for you in terms of like destiny. You don't forget those moments.
Right.
You remember exactly where you were. You remember the feeling. You remember who you was with. You just remember that. And it was my introduction to hip hop. I didn't know what I wanted to do in hip hop then. You know, I discovered it when I was like 9. Right? Maybe I could have discovered it earlier if I had like an OG or a cousin. You know what I'm saying? An older brother.
Right.
But I was born alone basically.
Gotcha.
You know. And at 9 years old, I discovered hip hop, and it was like. I just knew something was there, you know, like it was I got my first computer when I was, 9 years old.
Okay.
And I'm looking for some lyrics, right? I heard a song on the radio station.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I got to find the song.
Shout out AZ Lyrics, bro.
Something like that. You know, it was an
real.
old school website where you find lyrics, right? So I go and I type the lyrics, and as soon as I get on the webpage, the first video actually was Tupac, Dear Mama. And I don't know anything about hip hop or anything, but let me click this. And when I listen to the whole thing and I listen to his words and I listen to his honesty,
Bruh.
I automatically, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Me
like,
too. What an introduction to hip hop, dog.
What an introduction to hip hop. Wow. And what makes it even better, like, digesting that video, the storytelling, the feeling, right? Which is incredible.
Of course.
The next video that comes after that is Eminem, When I'm Gone. So it's like, if you want to talk about an introduction to hip hop, it can't get no better than that. In terms of storytelling, like, you got two juggernauts.
Straight up, yo.
With two storytelling type of joints. And it's like, I knew something was there for me. I didn't know what.
Right.
Until like I started seeing it from my peers. Like 7th grade was the first time I actually ran into somebody who rapped.
Oh shit.
Shout out to Quint. You feel what I'm saying?
Shout out.
I was in history class with him. And, he was dropping songs on Facebook. He was doing his thing.
Damn.
And I'm looking at him like, oh shit, I was scribbling in my notepad just based off of like Eminem and Tupac, and then later on discovering everybody else who's, on my list of inspirations, right?
Of course.
But seeing him, like I'm rubbing shoulders with my classmate in history class, and I'm seeing him write down rhymes and then displaying that. And then the attention he would get from it, the appreciation. And then that's when it clicked. It's like, oh shit, I can do it too.
Right.
And I would hang with him, and I'm just like showing my rhymes, and like he was better at than me at that time, and like I would show him like, yo, what you think? What are you thinking? Give me advice. But that's when I knew, like 7th grade is like, yeah, damn. I can rap, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make it somewhere.
Right.
And
then from then on, you ran through a bunch of composition books, bro. You know what I'm saying?
An extreme amount, and I kept them all.
Hell
I kept them
yeah.
all because like when 20 years from now, I want to look back and look at my amateur rhymes and be like, man, this is where I started, and this is like, look at the ambition that I had to just get something out.
This is where the platinum hits came from.
That's that platinum hit is coming for sure.
Big facts, big facts. You talk about other people and the appreciation.
Yes.
How important do you feel that it is to be valued, to be quote unquote appreciated by your peers as opposed to fans? Do you feel like there's a different weight in that or no?
Appreciation as a whole feels amazing, right? Like we love being appreciated for what we do or for what we are. What we present to the world, we want some sort of appreciation.
True. Right?
And grandest scale of things, or the smallest compliment can really make somebody's day.
Oh man.
Right? There's no difference. Just appreciation by itself is, I love that. Especially me, I was born alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no brothers or sisters with me.
Right.
That's why I hold my friendships. You feel what I'm saying? With my brother Raziel, who's on the couch.
Big shouts, big shouts.
You feel me? Like I hold those type of friendships so close to me because I don't have a brother.
Right.
So when I look at my friends, like those are my brothers. You feel me? And then the sense of appreciation I get from people who aren't my brothers. but they're acquaintances and they're friends,
Right.
and they're people that know me, and they're like, yo, you're good at something.
Right.
It feels a little bit more because my upbringing,
Of course.
my relationship with my mother, where she didn't really express that enough, or my father, who's, and to this day he's still a little bit distant.
Right.
But not getting that when you're growing up, like, yo, you're good at something, yo, I'm proud of you, I'm happy for you. So when you get to the stage of growing up and it's unfamiliar to you, you appreciate it a little bit more.
That constant don't give up, you know what I'm saying? It makes a difference.
Don't give up. I mean, it's just like that feeling of, like, I remember ninth grade and I'm reading off the phone this time. Like, I wasn't memorizing shit, but I was writing a lot of shit, right? So I remember ninth grade, we were in the cafeteria, right? And we're outside, we're sitting down, and I remember just telling one of my homies, like, I want to rap. And everybody got around me, and I rapped off my phone. And it was probably nice, or it was probably whack. I don't remember but the reaction, the fact that people were like, yo, you did that? Oh, shit, it's dope.
Right.
And I'll never forget those type of moments where it's like, man, I feel so appreciated. I feel so good.
Right. It's crazy, the similarities that I've noticed in rap and in like MMA or boxing. Because a lot of the times, bro, just in MMA or just in boxing, you're throwing a jab to set up for a nasty overhand. And in rap, it's a lot of similar. You're setting a trap with a certain bar, and then there's a double or triple entendre that's gonna come that's gonna fuck them up.
Yes,
like,
yes. And then you got legends in the game like an Anderson Silva,
right,
who they're following the format, right? Like the 4-bar format. You're
right.
setting up punchline,
right?
But there's legends out there who follow that same format, but everything's a punchline, and everything's a double entendre, and everything's a metaphor, and in there's stories, and in there you're piecing like multi-syllable rhyming. That's incredible in itself.
Right.
The fact that you can explain something in detail, 4 bars, but then hit you with something witty, and hit you with a punchline, and hit you with a metaphor. And then you go back and it's like, hold up, that's also a double entendre.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, hold up, now you're special.
No,
like,
there's
you're
times
doing
that,
something.
bro, there's certain artists, like, I'm a brain working slow. I'm like, yo, I'm still deciphering 4 bars back right now. Like,
And the art of it is finding how to say something so complicated in a simple way.
Oh my.
So whereas like the common folk, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? The people who aren't so invested into hip hop or
Right.
the science of it.
The casuals, as they say in the MMA community.
The casuals, right? Where it's like they can still appreciate that knockout punch,
Exactly.
but they're entertained by what came before it without
Right.
even diving in because they made it so simple for you.
Yes.
It's kind of like Hov said. It's like I dumbed down and doubled my dollars. He didn't get dumber. He just simplified it for you. He just simplified it. He's still as complex as ever. He just said it simple. You feel me?
Speaking of Hov, what do you think of what many refer to as grown man rap, like 444?
What do I think of it?
Yeah.
I think it's very needed. Grown man rap has always been in hip hop, but it's just many different forms. It depends on the climate, I think.
Okay.
Right, like that climate when he dropped 444, a lot of people were stepping into the entrepreneur bag, and
Yeah.
people were looking at businesses more.
Right.
And
Owning land.
and these conversations started bubbling up. So, he took that as the GOAT that he is, and then he flipped it the only way that he knows how to flip it. Grown man bars has always been in hip hop, super necessary because it's cool to have fun.
Oh,
But tell me something more. I'm not having fun 24/7. It's unrealistic to say that I'm having fun 24/7. I'm sad sometimes, dog. I want to learn sometimes, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where are those hip hop rappers?
right. Give me something substantial.
Give me something I can take away from this. I had a good time at the club for 3 hours.
Right.
And I love it. I'm not saying I don't. I fuck with it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like,
but now I got to pay for the club. You know
you know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying? Like I'm not against it. I'm gonna have my club records. That's cool.
Right.
But after that club, and you're driving home to your reality, what then? What's that? Like, what are you listening to? Are you you're going to another party? That's cool. And after that, where you going?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can keep on running forever.
Right.
You're gonna have to sit down and think about some grown man shit. you're gonna have to do it.
Oh, my dog out here dropping gems, my brother, dropping gems. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Brother, talk to me about the importance. And you know what I'm saying? I like to maneuver all across the spectrum of artistry, especially with someone as diverse as you.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the weight of fashion in the music industry and in the hip hop community as a whole. It's always been so intertwined.
Fashion is very, very important in terms of like, how can I mean, it's image at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, every rapper has an image to uphold, and every rapper or musician or whatever has an image to actually present. And even the rappers who don't partake in that imaging, you still get your little fits off. You feel me? It's very important. Fashion is very important in terms of being in tune with the culture, what's popping, what's in style, and makes you more relatable as an artist too. You know, especially not that you're joining the wave of what's going on, but if you're able to get the wave and fold it to you, and now it's your own style, it makes it even better, right? There's people out there who are powerhouses. Again, they have so much impact and power,
right,
that they're the wave starters, they're the creators. If Drake decides to wear something and constantly wears it,
Chrome Hearts is popping right now.
people catch on. It's like, that's what I want to rock. That's what I want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fashion, it's hip hop is universal. Hip hop is, you know, an introduction or a reintroduction to everything that we know, whether it's basketball or fighting or fashion. It's all together. It's weird bridges that have been made.
Right. Do you still feel that you can have a sense of, can you be individualistic when it comes to your fashion, or do you feel forced to wear a certain wave or something that's in style right now, or do you kind of just like to express yourself?
Individuality, you can definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hip hop. Hip hop is like grabbing something that, you feel what I'm saying? Somebody's rocking, but it's like, man, I'm gonna do it my way.
Right.
You know, like the Dapper Dans and like, yo, you got the Louis and shit. Like, you're cutting up Louis, but now you're making a jacket out of it.
Yeah.
That Louis wasn't doing. Right. That's hip hop. I'm grabbing construction boots. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm gonna twist up the laces a little bit. I'm gonna loosen them up, and I'm gonna rock them with some jeans and a fitted.
Damn.
And now what?
Right.
This is hip hop.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So individuality, it's making your own. Always make it your own.
Always make it your own. Always make it your own. And it doesn't even pertain to fashion, but music as well.
Music as well.
Man, and if there's somebody, you know, I've had multiple guests on here, and you, sir, are one of the most individualistic artists that I've had on here. It's a complete honor. I'm a fan.
Thank you so much.
And as a fan, I've always been a fan of what I like to call rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's that term has become so muddled in the past couple years. There is a question that I always kind of like to ask everybody that comes on here that's a true diehard hip hop fan. And as a enthusiast of the sport, what do you think of mumble rap?
Mumble rap. I feel like that term was created to, I mean, look, this is how I look at it. Every generation has this new thing, right? And every new thing is hated on, right? If you look closely enough, there's beauty in it all, right? These mumble rappers tapped into a pocket that other rappers didn't tap into, right? I'm a lyricist. I'm a wordsmith. I pride myself on writing. I'm a fan of writing, right? An immature version of myself probably would have been like, yo, fuck a mumble rap.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, fuck them. Like, you're watering down the coach, right? But if I step back and look at least, like, what are they doing? Okay, they might not be rapping. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? This is a separate part of hip-hop now. Now they're tapping into pockets with more melodies, and the ad-libs become more important, you know? So... Right. There's beauty in it all, man. I don't want to sit here and like shit on anybody. Everybody has a way to express. You feel me? And if that's what they brought to the game, as negative as it might be viewed,
right,
they still brought something to the game, and they changed the dynamic. Right. Like basketball, for example. Iverson comes in, changes the game, obviously in a positive note. He changes it, revolutionizes it, but changed it. Right. There might be a player out there that we might not agree with, that does certain shit, but he brought something and changed the flow of the game, right? It's like these mumble rappers, man. So, peace and love to them. Mumble rap has been dying out.
Right.
for sure. Dying out for sure. For sure, there's a wave coming. The shift is coming.
Oh yeah. Oh
Right.
yeah.
Griselda, people like that, Benny the Butcher and Conway the Machine. You feel what I'm saying? Fly God, like these people are bringing, you know, like
Right.
that shit back.
100%.
It never left, but you know what I'm talking about.
100%.
What was promoted most was mumble rap for a long period of time, and it's just like everything gets recycled. So once they're through with that, what are we going to?
Right.
Or we might go to the past and
Right.
bring it with a new style.
Oh, we'll do a damn yodeling remix right now, brother. You know what I'm saying? Right? No, but it's true. You know, what I was thinking off right off the bat when you were saying that was how back in the day, everybody was shit on T-Pain and the auto-tune. And now people are
Exactly.
like, he was a pioneer. You know what I'm saying? And he was in a...
It still is.
Yes, sir.
It's just on camera. You feel what I'm saying? Once I meet T-Pain, I'm going to make sure I tell him this too. But like T-Pain, again, shifted the culture.
Yes, sir.
Shifted the culture
Yes, sir.
through innovation. Right? Have you ever heard the story of him like finding autotune? It was something that he heard off a song, and then he, you know, relentlessly went to go look for that plugin because he knew that with his voice and he's able to stretch it and do these things with it, that it was going to be crazy. And that's exactly what he did. He brought a different flow to the game.
Dang.
And not everybody was agreeing with it. You know, Death of Autotune, shout out to Hove, right? Which really put a chink in like T-Pain's armor at that time.
Yep.
You got one of the biggest rappers saying Death of Autotune, and you revolve your career around Autotune.
Oh, yeah.
It's, you know, but it still stayed because innovation and creativity, if done with the right intention and purpose, which I think T-Pain did, it's gonna stay. It's gonna stay. Not all of it, maybe, right?
Right.
But the good side of it, at
Right.
least.
The idea is going to stand the test of time for sure.
If it's a great idea, and
Yes,
if
sir.
it was rooted in like great intention,
Yes.
I think so. I think so.
100%. Talk to me about, you know, listening to your music. Like you said, you are a lyricist up the wazoo.
I would like to think so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I would agree with that statement. What have you ever been a fan of battle rap? Did it influence
I'm a
you
huge
at all?
fan of battle
Talk
rap.
to us about that.
I'm a huge fan of battle rap. You know, Smack, URL.
KOTD,
Yeah.
King of the Dot.
Man, Raziel can tell you. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I would digest these things.
Oh, man.
Because, you know, okay, like yeah, they're not on beat or whatever, right? They're writing though. And again, I pride myself on writing. So as a fan of writing, I don't need no beat to listen to what they're saying. And if I'm really listening, it's the legend talk that we was talking about. Like,
Yeah.
it's the setup.
Yep.
But in those setups is metaphor, double entendre, triple entendre, quadruples. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
References, wittiness. It's just like, how can you not be a fan of that if you're a writer?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And the writing does have a cadence.
And
Like-
the writings, and then, you know, you go into the cadences and like you can actually flow with no beat and you're actually doing your thing.
spoken word almost, brother.
Yeah, it is. You know, you have your own flow and it makes it even more entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then you add in the catchphrases, your usual go-tos, right? Like the Charlie clips when he's like, what room I'm in? Right?
Yeah.
You start adding things like that, antics, like theater things, you
Mm-hmm.
know, entertainment aspects to it. And it makes it even better.
What's a favorite battle that comes top of the dome that you can think of right now?
Top of the dome, man, it would probably be Charlie Clips and T-Rex just for that third round. That
Nice.
third round, I mean, this cemented that was a great fucking like third round.
Right.
You know, like Loaded Lux and Calico was good too.
Yeah.
When he had the suit on and he was talking to him, like, you feel me?
Yeah. For me, off rip, Disaster versus DNA.
Disaster for that was great. Where Drake, I think, was in.
Yeah. He was actually the one that gave the check, that gave the payout for. And we'll get into, you know what I'm saying, there's plenty Drake talk later, you know what I'm saying? Make
Drake talk
Make
later.
no mistake, many a question where it was sent in about Drake, but so you would definitely, cuz I listening to your music, I feel like I can hear some battle rap inspiration in there.
Yeah, I think every rapper like myself, right, who prides themselves on writing and like at least in the hip hop culture, we have that battle rap aspect. Right. You listen to whoever you want to listen to, the Nas, the J. Cole's, the Jay-Z's, right? Like J. Cole's, for example, his last album is very battle rap orientated in terms of like he's getting his bars off and it almost feels like he's like battle rapping in a sense. You know what I'm saying? He's showboating in the sense like I'm a better rapper than you. And I'm not only going to tell you multiple times in a witty way, but I'm gonna show you with different flows, and I'm gonna sneak in my hits in there, and it's like,
Oh yeah,
you know. So every rapper like myself, for sure, we have that battle rap aspect where we can really get into that bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had battle raps in high school.
A word?
I had battle raps in high school.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
And what do you do?
I was, let's just put this on camera. I wasn't as skilled, right? But I feel like the potential was always there. I would look at myself and be like, at that moment, I felt like, obviously, I'm the greatest.
Right.
Which still sticks with me to this day. I have to.
You need to have that.
I need to have that. I'm not, Jordan's not stepping onto the court thinking, yo, shit, Isaiah Thomas is better than me. He's like, nah, I'm gonna rip his head off.
Right.
Fuck that.
Of course.
You feel me?
Right.
I'm the same way.
Right.
And back then I still had that, I had that energy.
Right. It's a fine line between being humble and not being competitive. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Like, outside of that bag, outside of that court, Jordan, I'm humble.
Right.
What?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I understand that I can't be better than this individual. Yes. There's no way. Because even though I'm great at the things I do, there's things that person is great at that I'm not great at. So how, by definition, how can I be better than this person? I can't. You have to be really dumb to convince yourself outside of that arena that you're better than everybody and you deserve to, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no. But in that arena, you can't touch me.
Hey!
You can't touch me.
That's what I'm talking about.
Feel me? You can't.
Damn.
And that's how I feel. So in terms of the question, for sure, battle rap, it's in me.
As far as, besides battle rap, who were some of your musical inspirations growing up?
And before I go into that, in terms of battle rap, battle rap is in me, but I don't know. I'm 50-50 about stepping on the stage like you are.
Hey, okay.
No, I gotta give him credit because, like,
just
saying that it's in me and making it look easy.
Right.
That shit is not easy.
But I mean, I was gonna say, just doing that shit in high school, I feel like that alone can give you certain tools that you use today. Dog, it takes mad balls to go up face to face to another motherfucker and either do pre-rins or top of the dome, whatever the case may be.
For
dog,
sure.
it takes...
It was actually more like on wax. It was more like diss records.
Okay,
like
what
battle
word?
Rap. You
Okay,
what
word, what word?
You're a rapper too, then fuck it. We're going to have to...
Right.
All right, then we're going to have to figure it out.
Run it,
Let's figure it out. You feel me? And then, obviously, their heads got chopped off.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
You feel me? But, like, in terms of battle rap, that shit is not easy at all. So I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. It's definitely not easy. It's a craft. People put time and love and passion into it. You feel me?
Yeah. And again, bro, the MMA and boxing comparisons are crazy. But just like MMA, anybody that gets on stage has my respect.
For sure. I think anybody who can put themselves out there to be criticized, because that's basically what you're doing. You're under the spotlight, and a lot of people, feed into their insecurities, right? But the type of people who step on stage, even if they're nervous or a little bit scared, or they might be just a little bit insecure, when they're on that stage, they have to put that aside. You're on that stage and you're basically telling people, this is me. I am who I am, and I'm here to display who I am. And if you like it, congratulations. And if you don't, then fuck you. You feel what I'm saying? You can get out. But it's not folding to the audience. It's making the audience aware of who you are. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who gets on that stage, including myself, like, there has to be some sort of appreciation. If you're a fighter, you're in front of all these people, right? And some of them are wishing you fall, or some of them are like, yo, I hope you win. Right. But either way, you're in there with eyes on you, and they're, if you start feeding into that, you're gonna lose. Right? Because people are looking at your every move and what you're wearing and how you move, and the way you're sweating. Right? If you're a fighter, it's like, oh man, look at them, the way you're bleeding. Right. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Anybody who gets on that stage, for sure, gets my respect and deserve to get that respect on any arena.
100%. And then as far as besides battle rap, talk to me about some musical inspirations.
Let me get back to that. I'm sorry.
No, you good, bro. You good.
Musical inspirations. I'm such a fan of the culture that I can't tell you this is my one person that I draw from.
Bro, give me a top 5 if you want.
This is very hard.
I know it's hard.
It's going to change.
Okay, I believe it, dog. Because someone drops something next week and it's mind-boggling. You know what I'm saying?
There's times where I'm really in my Jay-Z bag, and again, like, I have my top 5 and 3 spots that never change. Never change. It doesn't matter. It's Hove, Nas, and Cole.
In that order?
The order changes. The people don't change in terms of my top 5.
Yes, sir.
The order changes. It can be Jay-Z one day and I'm listening to Blueprint and I'm like, there's no way somebody's touching this shit. Right. You feel what I'm saying?
Yo.
And then I listen to Illmatic and he's like, nah, he's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm back on J. Cole and I listen to like the warm up and I'm like, nobody can touch this on an underground. And I should start feeling that thing.
Oh man.
Top 5. So those 3.
Okay.
I'll probably add Kendrick on there.
Okay.
Because I grew up with Kendrick, so it's a different perspective.
Before you give me your 5th, what do you think of an artist taking a hiatus such as Kendrick has?
Well, he's worked to get to that spot where he's able to get a hiatus. True, especially if he needs it. I don't know what he's going through. And people work differently. So if that's what he feels like he can do, he's at a position where like he can do that and not lose any traction. People are still waiting for a Kendrick verse.
Yep.
People are still waiting for a Kendrick album. They're still waiting for a Kendrick appearance.
Right.
So he got it. Right. But I don't think an unsigned artist like myself or have the luxury of like taking a hiatus like that. As much as we want to, we're gonna just have to bite down. It's like, yeah, we gotta go through.
Right.
You know?
And you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of rumors popping around, so by the time this shit comes out, there might be a Kendrick album. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Shit.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably. 5th spot.
5th spot. Coveted 5th spot.
It's gonna get a little controversial.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to say Kanye West, though.
Okay. All right. Honestly, I thought M was going in there.
M, Pac, or Kanye it
always fluctuates.
Kanye's just because of his versatility, and nobody can take that away from him.
Now, as a rapper or as an artist and as a whole, including producer, okay,
creative as a whole, like Kanye was really one of the people who opened my eyes in terms of like I can be much more than just one thing. Right. Like as I grew up and I'm like, yeah, I'm a rapper, but as I've grown, it's like, no, I'm much more than the rapper. I'm much more like these visions that are coming to my head in terms of like even making clothes, right? Not saying that I'm inspired by Kanye to make clothes. I'm just saying like I have these ideas. Or being a director, right? Like maybe in the future. Right. Maybe. In the future.
That's what I'm talking about.
In the future, you know what I'm saying? When I get the opportunity to really get into that bag, I see directing as an outlet to express myself because I'm doing that now. I'm coming up with the ideas for my music videos and my future music videos. Damn. You know, I'm listening to these songs and I'm drawing from different places to make one end product, which usually is, that's how it happens, whether we're conscious of it or not. Right. So Kanye, because he showed me I can be more than one thing. Okay. For sure. I can be rapper, director, whatever, creative director. I can be so many things and not limit myself in any of these situations.
When you mention Kanye, I gotta mention big shout out Drink Champs. You know what I'm saying? EFN coming through soon. And in that shout out, I gotta ask, what was, I guess, if you could take away one thing from that podcast episode, Drink Champs with Ye, what would you take away from it?
One thing? Well, I took many things away from it. But if I took like one thing, it's just like don't let nobody control you. You know what I'm saying? Like just be you. Unapologetically be you. Completely, whether people agree with you or they call you crazy or not, just say what you gotta say, though. You know what I'm saying? Like all that filler and all that industry talk and all that bullshit that people be on and all that friendly. Fuck that. This is how I feel. I'm gonna say it, and this is how I feel about my ideas and whatever. Like, like that's what I took from it. Like having pride in like my ideas, my creativeness. You know what I'm saying? It's just saying what I feel. I was doing that already, but, that's what I took from it.
Have you ever felt like you had to censor yourself in your music?
Yes, for sure.
Talk to me.
Censor myself in the case of like, well, now that I'm stepping into the industry, right? And like I'm getting my foot in there. Censoring comes from, I can't name drop how I was doing as an underground artist.
Why?
I mean, there's a lot of politics when it comes to that, right? So as outspoken as and not even outspoken, that's just like no filter that I do have, right, in conversation. When it comes to politics and music, it's a little different. You got to really like weigh out the odds. Is this punchline, is this metaphor, is this double entendre really worth somebody's perspective of you getting,
the art of war.
Early on, like you got to play it smart. You know what I'm saying? I might write a rhyme, something witty as hell, and it might be about Hove, right? It might be about I'm bouncing his name in the rhyme. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, as an underground, unsigned artist coming up, do I want to take that risk early on and having the risk of somebody up there close to Hove hearing that and taking it the wrong way? They don't know me. But once they know me, I can say whatever. You know my intentions. Right. I might bounce your shit off a rhyme, and it's just I'm bouncing it off a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hip-hop.
Does it kind of feel like the art of war for you?
At this moment, it does, and it'll probably intensify as I step, deeper into the game. it has to be more calculated than anything. It has to be.
Did you have any blowbacks from when you did name drop, earlier on?
No, because it was just like underground, battle rap bars or whatever. It's just like, nothing. And don't take this like as me saying like, oh, name dropping as I'm saying fuck them. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying like you would bounce their name in the rhyme and make it witty to the point where you're using their name to make sense of what you're saying.
True. You had mentioned briefly the industry. I do want to know, what are your 2 cents on being signed to a record label versus being independent? There's so many people that come on here. There's pros and cons to each. Some would argue, if you're with a record label, you have arguably bigger funding for your marketing, X, Y, and Z, but you own less of your own product. And in the double-edged sword, if you are independent, you might not have the funds to promote it as much. Talk to us about those 2 contrasting sides.
Well, I think it all depends on the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might get a really good deal that might not, jeopardize your future that much. You feel me? Like, you might just really get a good deal. But my plan, as of right now, is to build enough leverage with my artistry, with my fan base, with my music, my product, to then step into these offices as Apollo Lofton, the artist, and not Apollo Lofton, the up-and-coming artist that you can take advantage of.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I want to build enough leverage to the point where I can work out a great deal that's going to benefit me and them. Like, I want to help you out.
Right.
But I'm not only going to help you out.
Of course.
I got to eat. You're going to help me out.
Right.
So I want to step into these offices with that intention, with that energy.
It's a completely different presentation when you walk in with, this is what I have to offer you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, I'm looking for someone to help me out.
For sure.
Completely different.
When we're in a different era too, like everything you can take out everything by yourself. Everything, like in terms of music, in terms of product, and like if you really do your research,
right.
If you want to make clothes, you can find somebody, to buy the blanks off of or whatever, or like somebody that does what you're looking for.
Right.
And then you go invest in that, and you go, you could do your own research because to us, you can access that.
Yeah.
Right. You can just Google whatever you want on YouTube, whatever you want, and just go into that rabbit hole. And you can find something out of it. But we'll see when we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about? We have 3. I said 3 segments, and the first one is actually called Mail Time. You know what I'm saying? I stole that shit from Blue's Clues. And we know what I'm saying, every Saturday or Friday, whatever the case, you see a story on our Instagram, and you yourself can submit questions that we'll ask on the air to our guests. And these are the questions that the fans clamored for Apollo Lofton.
All right, let's see.
All right. First question from our Mail Time segment. Apollo, where did the name come from?
Apollo came on a deeper stance and came from a necessity of building an identity, right? I felt like everybody around me had a nickname, and I didn't have one.
Okay.
And it always felt so cool to have a nickname. You feel me? So it came from the Apollo Theater.
Oh, shit.
In Harlem. That's where it's at, right? Harlem?
Right, I think so.
I think so, yeah. So, I'm not from New York, obviously, but, it came from the Apollo Theater. Like, the Apollo Theater has such a rich history in music alone that obviously will stand the test of time way after we're gone. Damn. So something that powerful, like the Apollo Theater, just give me the Apollo,
Damn.
And then Lofton was just Googling last names, dog.
Word?
Straight up.
Yo, that's fire,
like,
man.
I know I needed, like, Apollo wasn't gonna work. You feel me? I needed something to add that flair, and Apollo Lofton rolled off the tongue good.
Oh, it does.
Apollo Lofton, like, it's just like it felt good when I said it, and it's like, all right, let's give it time.
Oh, brother, you have a knack for titles and names, man, because it's a phenomenal name. All right.
Thank you so much, and I was doubting it for a while too.
What?
Yeah, because I want things to be so original, right? The fact that Apollo in itself is not original. It puts me on a you know what I'm saying? But I understand that the name works. Any name can work given the test of time.
Right, man.
And promotion and marketing and like where you're at, right? Like if people see your name and your Jacket, that's your name.
Right.
With enough time, Jacket is a good name because You stood the test of time,
Nah.
and you consistent, and you know.
Think of the Beatles. That's a damn bug.
That's a bug.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
ended up being a name.
One of
like
the biggest rock groups in all fucking history, bro.
Exactly.
Damn. All right. Second question from our mail time segment. And here we start with the Drake talk. How did you find out where Drake was going to be, and were you nervous?
Got you. So I have a plug somewhere in Miami Beach. You feel me?
Okay, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Respect.
Somewhere in South Beach.
There you go.
That let me know that he was gonna be at that specific restaurant. Right? So, and to be honest with you, before it even happened, I didn't even want to go. Yeah, man.
How
I
come?
was
How come?
I'm an overthinker. I don't know if it's by nature, but it's like I overthink a lot.
Bro, you're preaching to the
Especially
choir right now, brother.
so you feel me?
Oh,
So
yeah.
when I got the message that Drake is gonna be here for sure,
A hundo.
I was kind of giving myself time to sell out, to have an excuse. I was waiting. I waited a good hour after that message. Yeah.
Thank God he had a long lunch, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Whatever's meant to be is supposed to be.
Straight up.
Like it's supposed to happen that way. You feel me? So, and I'm being completely honest, because if somebody out there, like feels the same way, just take that shit. Just take, because you never know what might happen. If I would have stayed home that day, just contemplating my thoughts and like overthinking and like, it was normal overthinking. Like, man, would it even be worth it? Yo, he's probably gonna have mass security.
And
Yo, there's
he did.
He did have mass security. One of my concerns also was like, yo, if there's fans out there, I don't want to involve myself into that group of fans, because I don't want him to look at me like a fan. If there was even one girl out there with a sign or something, I would have just skated out.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like, as soon as he puts me in that group,
In that box,
I'm kind of like, he's not gonna give me
right.
the attention as an artist.
100%. Oh man, dude, it's like fucking talking to a mirror. You want him to view you in the same plane.
Because I am on the same plane.
100% dog.
He just has the machines behind him. And obviously the years and the experience. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm talking about in terms of being a human being and being an artist. I'm that too.
Yes, sir.
You feel what I'm saying? Without a doubt. So I was just overthinking all of that. And in the midst of overthinking, I'm looking at my whiteboard. I have a whiteboard in the studio. And I'm looking at the track list for my next album. And me knowing what I'm sitting on. Like me knowing like, yo, this album can potentially change my life. If it comes out exactly how I envision it, this is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be pressure. And I looked at it, dog, and I just said, you know what, fuck it. We out. I have nothing to lose. And I ended up going. I waited the 2 hours. And when he came out, the rest was history, dog. I played him the freestyle that I had over his beat. No friends in the industry.
Question, you were outside for 2 hours?
I was outside for nearly 2 hours. Nearly 2 hours.
No one asked you to leave.
Nobody was there. That's how I know when shit is supposed to be, it's supposed to be. This is arguably, this is what they're saying, the Michael Jackson of our era.
Yeah.
Why is nobody outside? Why am I the only one that knows he's in there?
You have a really good plug, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was obviously moving militant, security, very low key. But word gets around. This is Drake we're talking about. This is not some average cat. This is the #1 artist in the world who just dropped an album.
Right.
I'm expecting at least somebody there.
Who beat out Kanye for record sales.
Who beat out and is still #1 on the charts. It's like he's going back to the #1, 2,
Yeah.
1,
Right,
2.
right,
Like
right.
he's just phenomenal, right? Like there's no doubt in my mind this dude is a legend, right? But why am I the only one here? And why is it so eerie outside? And there's not a single car passing by. Because that's one of my fears too, is like I have a speaker. I don't want no traffic. Just fuck around. He's not gonna hear what I'm saying on the record. There's not a car passing by. The security steps out, looks at me, nods, yo, what's up? Doesn't give me a hard time.
He does it?
At all. At all. He looks at me, nods at me, I nod at him like, yo, what's up? Cool. Just starts walking around the block. He sees me with my speaker. He sees me waiting around for more than 30 minutes. He can imagine why I'm waiting around. And nothing. And nothing. So that's why like I'm such a believer of what's supposed to be just happens like that.
God.
Nobody could have taken that moment away from me because it was for me.
Straight up,
It
man.
was just me and him face to face. You don't know about Apollo Lofton? Well, now you do. You feel me?
The planets aligned.
At that specific moment, I believe so. Because, again, #1 artist in the world who gets offered things daily. who gets approached, who people always want pictures and favors. And,
of course.
and here I am. I don't want nothing from you, but to just look at me and know that in a couple years, I'm next to you.
Acknowledge me, motherfucker.
Acknowledge me. You feel what I'm saying? Acknowledge me in terms of like I'm an artist too. And there's some heat here in Dade County that you don't know about. Oof. You feel me? God. So the video, you show the video.
Right.
And the camera cuts out and he invites me over to his truck. And this is where we have a brief conversation.
Talk to me.
Like interview question, like, who are you? What's your name?
Right.
Yo, I'm rocking with that. I see him like kind of bobbing his head, like, yo, I'm rocking with that. He's telling me I'm rocking with that. Yo, what's your Instagram?
So you were near his car with the speaker?
I kept that shit playing. I didn't even take it off.
Hell yeah.
You feel me? Like he probably couldn't even hear my Instagram handle. I mean, he didn't hear. This is what I'm saying. Like things are supposed to be this way. So as I'm giving him my Instagram handle, yo, it's Apollo Lofton, APO . Like I'm telling him.
Right.
I say like 3 times, right? I'm assuming he got it. Right. So I'm like, yo, peace and love, my brother. I'll see you. So I start walking off, and he's like, no, come back. I still don't have your IG.
Oh wow.
I almost blew my moment, right? Wow. But the fact that he was interested enough to like call me back, he didn't have to stop for me.
Right.
He didn't have to pull his window down. He didn't have to, have a conversation with me. And then he didn't have to call me back. He could have just been like, all right, pull the window up and just walked.
Right.
Get driven away. What's for you was supposed to be for you.
Wow.
1000% so. And was I nervous? I was not nervous at all.
You were not?
I was not nervous.
For the 2 hours that you were outside, you weren't nervous at all?
No.
Wow.
I was not nervous because as soon as I got there, I understood. This is me.
There's the mission.
Not only is that the mission, but this is for me. Why would I be nervous? God put everything for me in this moment. I cannot be nervous. I would be doing a disservice to myself and to the universe or whatever put me there to be nervous and fuck it up.
Right. Because they could sense that and it's like a different vibe.
It's a different vibe. You start stuttering, you start moving a little different if you're a little nervous, you feel me? But nah, like I'm going up to him like, I'm an artist just like you, dog. Just like you. You just don't know me. But now you do. You feel what I'm saying? Here's my introduction. I'm Apollo Lofton. Oh, and now I got the biggest artist in the world following me and hopefully checking out my stuff. Or if not, at least I'm popping up on his thing, on his feed.
Oh yeah.
So that puts pressure on myself. I gotta drop everything A1. Everything A1. Because if I drop a video or song or whatever that he fucks with, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. You might as well get the contract ready. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm out of here.
Damn.
There's no question about it though.
Wow.
I was not nervous at all. You cannot be nervous in those moments. He's a human being just like me.
And I will say, very ballsy to not only that you didn't show an original track, but you're like, yo, I'm gonna go on your beat
and fuck it up.
Yo,
you feel what I'm saying? But it was more strategic.
Hell yeah!
If I play on one of my joints,
the art of war, baby.
It's strategic. You feel what I'm saying? If I play on one of my joints, it's like I know the joint is good,
right?
But will you really turn around and pay me the attention?
Right. Will he grasp it as quickly?
I'm taking a bigger risk. The record has to be so good to him and his perspective of what, his perception of records that he has to like pay attention to me. But if I automatically play him something he's familiar with, knowing that he's signed to Wayne, who went on an incredible freestyle run and still does, hopping over other people's shit. Yep. So he's familiar to that. You signed to you look up to this dude, so you know damn well what this thing is about, freestyling over other people's beat. That's who I learned it from.
Oh yeah.
Playing his beat was an automatic, like, you have to turn around, dog. Because it's your shit. And as soon as you hear my words, it's kind of like, but it's not my shit,
How far, and before, I'm saying this before we get to our third mail time question, but how far in advance had you recorded that before that?
Bro, when the album drops, usually if I'm inspired, I work really quick, right? And I've gotten in this habit of like on the way to work, right? I would freestyle in the car. Like I'll play a beat and I'll just start writing. I'll start writing in my head. And at every stop sign, I'll just put it on the phone so I don't forget. So every stop sign or every red light, boom, is another 4 bars, is another 2, is another 8, is another whatever. And by the time I get home, I have that song done and that song done. So it was kind of like that. I listened to his album, and when I heard that beat, the next day I had like probably like 3 freestyles ready.
Bro, that's a productive drive right there.
It was an extremely productive drive. I'm super grateful that it was.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
And I recorded it just because I'm that's what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm recording over other people's beat and seeing who does better and seeing if I can match up against the biggest artists in the world in terms of bars, in terms of writing. We're not comparing melodies. We're not comparing just writing bars. What am I saying? What are you saying? You know, that competitive nature. So, man, I had that done 2 weeks before that probably.
Oh, wow.
I was prepared, dog. When I saw him, I had the cover art ready. I had the graphics for the cover art ready. I had everything already loaded up to be, drop on YouTube and Audio Mag and SoundCloud and shit like that.
Damn.
Ready. So as soon as he got into his car, I had everything ready. So all I did was post a story and he saw it automatically right there, seconds.
Stay ready.
Because I have the cover art, I got the graphics. Yo, I'm dropping this tonight. It's a pleasure meeting you. So I'm not fucking around. You know what I'm saying? I'm prepared.
Jeez, man.
And hopefully he took that. Hopefully he took that with him.
Right.
Like not only did you show me a freestyle over my shit
Right.
off an album I just dropped,
Right.
but you had the cover art.
Right.
And you had the shit ready.
You're
Because
ready
as soon
to
as
go.
he's driving off, I'm posting it.
Right. Man, and that's, man. And I still got to get to the third question, but this story is fucking phenomenal. And I feel like that's something that at some point lacks in the music industry, that drive, that hunger. I feel like maybe you got people that are near, or maybe he has people that are near him, and you get complacent, you get comfortable about certain things. You scream that drive, that perseverance. I feel like if he does hit you up within 2 days notice, he's like, yo, I need a track in 2 days. Motherfucker, I got you.
I'm not sleeping.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I'm treating it like my last option, right? I'm treating it as that.
Right.
I'm wise enough, if I step out of that bag and that, that illusion or whatever, I understand I have other options.
Right.
Right? But I'm treating it like my last option. This is my life. Once you get to the point of like, I'm willing to die for this, yo, there's nothing I won't do. That obviously in terms of like,
Right.
that
doesn't go against your morals.
That doesn't go against my morals and my integrity of who I am.
Right.
But in terms of hustle, man, there's nothing I won't do. You want me to stand outside for 9 hours? I'll give you 10. God. Because this is what I want.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are too prideful. I was reading the comments when that shit happened and it went viral. And there was a few negative comments. What surprised me is that 90% of it was super positive.
You're going to get some haters everywhere, bro.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool. But I wanted to see what they were hating on. Like, where are they coming from? Right? Like, you might hate on my outfit. Okay? I want to see where you're coming from, though. If you're hating on it, you might not like my jacket, my pants.
Give me constructive criticism.
Where are you coming from? Where is this hate coming from? And a lot of the comments, all of the comments that were hateful, where, I would have never waited 2 hours, this and that. 2 hours, I would have done this. It's like, that's where you're hating from. You're not looking at the bigger picture, dog. I invested 2 hours of my time. You know what I'm saying? 120 minutes. I invested 120 minutes.
Hell yeah.
That changed my life. And I would invest it again and again and again. Because that's what it is.
Y'all wait 2 hours in line at Disney World, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
You know what I'm saying? You'll wait the drive-through at McDonald's for 30 minutes to get your frap. You're talking about an opportunity that might change my life. Might.
Man.
I'm not even talking about like it will. If it will, I'm there for days. I don't give a fuck. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? But might. I'm taking that every time. You crazy. I'm betting on myself.
Hell yeah, man. As you should. That's self-belief, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. And for the last question of our mail time segment, have you linked up with Drake since?
No. People have this misconception of like, just because he follows me, I have a relationship with him. No. I don't have no relationship with Drake. I had that brief conversation. You feel me? The only thing that I did outside of that was I DM'd him and I told him like how grateful I was for him to do that.
Right.
Like you might not know, like I told him, like you might not know what you did, but just know that I'm grateful and I'm thankful that you did it. Damn. You know, to you, you're a superstar. Right. You know, but to me, you just sparked my career. And you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to stop for me, but you did. And just for that, I'm grateful. I told him, I hope God continues to bless you abundantly. And once I'm in your position, I'll do the same. You know, so hopefully he read the message. I don't even check. Like, I'm not going to be on it. And
no, of course not.
I just sent it out and I just, I let the universe decide whether he reads it or not.
Wow.
But I wanted to make sure that he knew Like, yo, you just didn't give an opportunity. Not even an opportunity, because it's just you just hit follow and it went viral. But you didn't give that moment to just anybody. Right. You gave it to the guy.
Sheesh.
You feel me? It's supposed to happen that way, dog.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sending in those questions. You know what I'm saying? Every week, send in those questions and we'll ask them on the air. Thank you. Apollo, I want to know what's kind of your relationship with producers like and engineers. I've had a lot of different artists come through here, and some of them will tell me, for example, if I'm working on an album, I want the same producer or the same engineer for all the tracks. Some of them don't mind hopping, you know what I'm saying? They'll do 5 producers on one album. Some of them feel like if it's not broken, why fix it? What are your 2 cents on this?
Well, in terms of my current relationships, I don't have no current relationships with like solid engineers or producers. You feel me? But if I was constructing an album, it wouldn't really matter if I had one or multiple producers. You feel what I'm saying? As long as they're on the same page. Like the blueprint had Just Blaze and Kanye West, and Illmatic had Large Professor and Q-Tip, producing shit like that. Right. So, but they were on the same page. They were there for one mission, and they produced a product that was cohesive enough to deliver to the masses. So, I mean, it could work better with one producer because it's the same vibe. You're on the same. It's just one-on-one. But it can also work with multiple producers. I'm on the fence with that. I go based off of feeling. If it feels good with one producer, then it feels good. I don't have to change that.
Right.
If we feel like, yo, maybe this dude's expertise and the shit that he's good at, we can bring it in and he's on the same page. Now we use somebody else's expertise and the shit that they're good at to our advantage. I'm not going against that because I want to be stuck on that, it's just one person mentality.
Right.
And engineers too. I mean, right now I'm in the process of finishing the album.
Okay.
Right? I got 9 songs done. I think I'll probably cap it at that.
Okay.
But I'm on the hunt for another one, right? So I'm going to do something different now. I've engineered and mixed and mastered my last album.
Okay.
Right. I had to learn the craft for my survival, basically.
Hell yeah, man.
Right.
I love
we
that.
were talking off of camera how we have to wear multiple hats.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a mixing engineer. You know what I'm saying? I've grown to love it and enjoy it because I had to do it at first. Because I know I was going to studios and I was getting booked, and I was paying for shit that I didn't even know, and then I realized I could do this shit myself.
Right.
And I can do it in the comfort of my own home or wherever I put the studio at, and I can do it with the comfort of myself.
Right.
Give me my development stage, being comfortable enough with myself to develop myself in private.
And the comfort of having extra dollar bills in your wallet, bro. You know what
Very
I'm saying?
true, because studio time is not cheap.
Oh, hell no.
And, they dedicate their time to that.
Of course.
They provide the space and the materials, the equipment, and then the engineers.
Right.
So for this album, I want to actually get, a really dope engineer from the city who's super dope.
Hell yeah.
And I'm still on the hunt for him. I think I got like 1 or 2 in my mind.
Got a couple leads?
Yeah, I got a couple leads because I do my research. Like, you're going to be mixing and, my album or mastering the album. It's like, you have to be nice with it.
Oh yeah.
I don't care who you worked with. You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I? But you should be nice with it. You should be dope. And so yeah, for this album, I really want to get on board with engineers.
Okay.
I'll do my mixes or whatever, but like, yo, help me out, or like you do the mixes and let me be hovering over you. Obviously somebody with more experience than me, so I can learn.
Right.
I can learn. I have my mind is on mixing. Like, I understand mixing. I know what it is, and I know the tools you need to get the job done. But there's a lot of things that I don't know. So if I find somebody who knows the stuff that I don't know, then it's it's a double. I'm winning. I'm winning twice over. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
So this next album for sure, I need engineers, man.
What's your writing process like? Some people, we've had producers, we've had artists, all sorts of things, and they'll tell us, for example, there's certain artists that will start writing in the studio on your studio time, which I find it crazy. Because every single time that I've gone to the studio, I've had my shit written for like 2 months and I've been rehearsing it. You know what I'm saying? But there's different schools of thought. What's yours?
Well, if I'm going to a professional studio that I'm paying for, I'm going there prepared at this stage of my career because it's not handed to me. I don't have the luxury of paying for 3 or 4 hours knowing how the creative process is.
Right.
Knowing that sometimes it takes time. It takes time to craft what you need, right? So if I'm going to a high-end studio or a big studio that I'm paying for, I'm going there prepared for sure. I got the verse ready. I got the idea ready. And if there's, and I'll leave a little bit of space to craft in that environment. But the verse is already, the idea is there, the concept is there, And it's just going in there. But most of the time I'm recording in my space. You feel me? So I'm not even stressing that part about it.
Not even stressing that part about it. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about? We have 3. I said 3 segments, and the second one is actually the movie review of the week. You know what I'm talking about?
Dope.
And yes, and in this beautiful segment, we ask our illustrious guests for a suggestion, a recommendation. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you got a crowd of 10,000 people, and they got 2 hours to kill because they got an Apollo Lofton performance coming up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yo, you got 2 hours to kill. Boom, you go on Netflix, you go on Hulu, whatever the case may be. What's a show or a movie that you would recommend, maybe 10 out of 10 stars, for the people?
10 out of 10 stars. I'm a little bit biased, right? But I would definitely offer them The Godfather, the first one.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? There's
Banger.
a lot of game in there.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy American Gangster with Denzel. I'm such a Denzel fan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's definitely top 2, right?
Hey,
like top 1, like
right.
yeah, he's like the GOAT to me. But definitely those 2. Maybe even Parasite. I've been watching Parasite over again.
Yo.
It's phenomenal. I really enjoy the directing style and the angles they chose for that. You know what I'm saying? Like how it was structured. I really enjoyed it.
Yo, these are phenomenal films. Phenomenal films.
Maybe I'm going for the go-tos, but
Man.
that's what I'm enjoying right now.
Phenomenal. Great movie recommendations, you know what I'm saying, from Apollo Lofton.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Apollo, I got to ask, what would you say, just top of the dome, where was the biggest contrast that you experienced when everything went quote unquote viral? You know what I'm saying? When Drake followed you, when the video dropped, you know what I'm saying? You got all these media outlets, reporting it. Was it literally overnight? Like you went to sleep and you woke up and your phone had 1 million notifications? Talk to me about everything.
It was basically that, man. Overnight. Or at least over the day.
Right.
Because I posted it early. I posted it around like 4 p.m. And by 10 p.m., like everybody knew. And everybody was hitting me up. And everybody was, congratulations. And, I always believed in you, which I appreciate so much. Even from the people who I didn't have conversations with at that moment. It's just for them to reach out. And like, again, show that appreciation,
Does it make you feel some type of way if... bro, you've been putting in work. Like, we were talking off camera. We've been putting in work, you know what I'm saying? And you've been putting in work for years before this. Mm-hmm. Does it make you feel some type of way if maybe someone hadn't been checking out your sound, hadn't been liking your shit, and then all of a sudden Drake follows you and it's like, we're best friends? Talk to me about that.
Nah, look, I pride myself on being a very understanding person, right? So I've seen the patterns and I know that they doubted the greats before. Right? I'm not saying but they've doubted everybody who had an idea, who had a vision, who had ambition to chase something bigger than themselves, right? To be part of something bigger than themselves. So I'm very understanding, bro. I'm not even mad at them, I'm just grateful that they saw it now. It's better them seeing it now, than never seeing it. But I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful. I'm not mad at them. I understand that's how shit goes.
Yeah.
Bro, it's funny. Before that Drake shit happened, I previewed the song that I showed Drake. And I was kind of like telling people like, yo, DM me and I'll send it to you. And not a lot of people really DM me to like listen to the record. You feel what I'm saying? To see what I was working on, right? And it didn't really get to me because after, that pandemic shit happened and I hit the slump, I kind of stopped worrying about the numbers. I was concerning myself a lot with numbers back then too. I was like, man, the numbers are not coming in. Like, why are people not viewing my shit? I'm dope, whatever. I need more likes. I need more comments. I need more people to see it, which is a good thing to think about because it's marketing. You want other people to discover you, but concerning yourself with it, and like involving your energy in it is not that healthy because the expectations are up and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what you should be focusing on as an artist. And yeah, not a lot of people DM me to check out the song, and then after the Drake shit happened, everybody wanted to listen to the song, and everybody wanted to see what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just showed me, bro. It just showed me that once something pops, people realize like, oh shit, you know, like this is real. Like
all
this
the
is
work
not,
he's been putting in.
yeah, they probably won't even realize that. They probably won't even realize that deep into it. They'll just like, oh yeah, I know he rapped. Oh
Right.
shit, it worked out.
But see, that's funny because they say, and I mean, I had just said it myself, but you know, they say quote unquote overnight, but they don't know about the fucking, it didn't happen overnight.
It's never overnight.
It's
And this
never
is,
overnight.
This is just a spark. This is just a small spark.
Right.
I'm understanding of that as well. It's a small spark. I haven't made it anywhere yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not there yet.
Even though you're not quote unquote there yet, have you had a moment that you sat back, took a moment and be like, yo, I started in, you know, my mom's basement or whatever, which is obviously not the case, but I started in XYZ and I just had this moment. Do you take a moment to take it all in?
I mean, after it happened, and even to this day, it's kind of weird when people go up. Not weird. I mean, I appreciate it, but it's weird to me because it hasn't happened, right? Anything that we're unfamiliar with is a little bit weird at first.
Of course.
So, like, when people go up to me and like, yo, can I rap for you? You know what I'm saying? And to me, I'm so humbled by it. It's like, of course, rap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
I want to hear you rap. I want to hear what you got. But in my mind, it's like, I'm you, bro. What you talking about? We're on the same level right now,
Right,
brother.
right.
Like,
I can't do anything for you.
I can't do anything for you. But when those things started happening, and it wasn't a lot, but it was enough for me to sit back and really think like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I tapped into something that now people are viewing me in a different light.
Right.
You know, they're viewing me more as an artist and not a person trying to be an artist or whatever the case is.
Right.
You know how shit go though.
Wow. Apollo, I gotta ask if you could, I mean, even though you say that, you know, you have nothing to offer you or even the people that asked to rap
well,
for you.
let me I have a lot to offer, obviously. As a human being, I have a lot to offer.
Of course.
I'm not diminishing my talents, but their perception of me, of when somebody raps to you, right?
Right.
They think that you're at a higher level to whereas you can pull them up.
Or sign them or some
Or
shit.
sign them.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not there yet. You
Right.
know? In terms of that, I have nothing to offer you. In terms of like artists and being a helper and being a human being, I have the world to offer you.
Of course.
I'm offering you myself and my talents, my perspective and my opinions. You feel me? So, I just wanted to double back on that.
So if you could offer advice to a young artist, to someone who's just getting started, who looks up to you, who just saw this moment and shits on the people that shit on you for waiting 2 hours. You know, there's certain, you know, the young kids are like, that's what the fuck it's about. It's about the persistence, that perseverance.
The people who get it
Yes.
say that. The people like, yo, that's what it's about.
Right. What advice would you give to someone who's, you know, with a blue mic at the crib, has their OG screaming in the back, you know what I'm saying, is grinding it out? What would you give to that kid with 150 followers or whatever the case?
Got you. My advice, and I need to hear this too. My advice is just to take the risk. Take the risk. Whatever you're thinking of doing, it just, you know, whatever you're thinking of doing, just do it. Don't overthink it. Don't let fear consume you. Don't let your anxiety get the best of you. Anxiety is like number one liar. You feel what I'm saying? Like anxiety be lying like a motherfucker, man. Anxiety will tell you that you ain't shit, and the whole time you are this shit. Anxiety would, you feel what I'm saying? Anxiety will tell 100%. You, yo, you're not that guy. The whole time you are that guy.
Dog, what was it? Michael Jackson, after he did the moonwalk for the first time, he was crying backstage because he said it was the worst performance he ever had in his life. What the fuck?
And it was a pivotal moment in his career to where it's like the moonwalk is his signature thing.
Straight up.
You gotta get out of your own way. You know, I would end the advice that way. Like, just get out of your own way.
Damn.
You know? Those negative inner thoughts, bro, those just are liars. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta switch that. You gotta be kinder to yourself. The world is already so mean. The world is already so, like, harsh. You step out and people already judge you for what you wear. People judge you because of the way you talk or because you don't talk this way. People judge you already. You step out through that door. Don't judge yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Like, be positive to yourself, dog. You're doing the best you can.
Damn. Appreciate that gem, brother. I appreciate that gem. Apollo, if you met someone who had never listened to a single one of your songs, how would you best describe your sound?
How would I best describe my sound? I think, I don't think I would describe it. You know, I'm more of like an action type of guy. It's like, oh, you've never heard of Apollo Lofton? Okay, cool. Here's Never Trust a Soul Off. The truth is I'm terrified. And let me like introduce you that way.
Right.
You know, because whatever I tell that person, describe them, they already painted an image in their head way different than what I'm going to present them. Yo, I'm great, and I'm a wordsmith, and I'm a lyricist. And then it's like they're thinking of Big Pun and Big L, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And now when I present on my shit, he's like, wait, hold on, that's not what you told me. It's like, nah, bro, that's not what you thought of. You feel what I told you what I was, you know?
Straight up.
So I would definitely should show them. I would never describe my music to somebody.
Okay. And what about an Apollo Lofton performance? Talk to me about that. How would you best describe that?
A performance on stage where a performance, an Apollo Lofton performance offers you transparency and offers you comfort. Comfort is just being yourself. Because when I go on stage and when I'm going to go on stage, which is something that I really, really need to do ASAP, just to like really get that experience. You feel me?
Right.
When I go on stage, I'm going to offer you myself. I'm going to offer you all of me, whether you like it or not, you know?
I would assume that given your experience, you know, with tackling on those judgments in your head, you know, that overthinking, those 2 hours, which I think is still magnificent. I think it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
That you were, not only that you were there, but you were able to be there for 2 hours and not be nervous, have your head in the game. That's commendable beyond belief. Apollo Lofton, I gotta ask, where does this drive come from? Where does this determination, this I will not take no for an answer, Apollo Lofton, where does that come from?
Yo, it comes from like many things, bro. Like I look around at the structure of what life, they make, you know, what they make life to be. The 9-to-5s and the businesses and the, you know, and there's so much more to that. If I'm able to tap into that 1%, I'm able to really go into what I feel like what life is about. In terms of self-discovery, really enjoying your time and what you like doing and like, you know, stuff like that. There's a lot of distractions out there. So not only looking at the structure of what life is supposed to be, quote unquote, but the personal shit that I've been through, dog. Like my mother's homeless right now. What you mean I'm not going to chase my dream? Shit. My mother's homeless right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how does that influence your sound?
It makes me go harder in terms of like I got to get more creative and I got to keep on learning and I got to learn more melodies and I got to be better at melodies and I got to be a better rapper and I got to be wittier. It's just it has that, it's that drive. It's like I got to be better. Because earlier we had spoke about being transparent in your music. Yes. How transparent are you? Are you willing to discuss about, you know, the hard topics, you know, your mother and that sort of thing? Is that something that you stay clear from, or is that something that you attack full force? No, I have to attack it. I have to attack it full force. You got to understand that, you know, just like I was saying before, like the whole like self-discovery and like learning yourself, bro, I owe it to myself to not only be honest, but I owe it to people who are listening to me. I'm not here bullshitting or putting up a front. I'm going to tell you about me and I'm going to tell you all of me. You feel what I'm saying? The dark, the light, the in-between, you know, the buffering stage when you're trying to figure shit out. You feel me? Excuse me. So when it comes to like my mother's situation or like my father being distant or maybe like emotional shit that I've been through with my grandfather where it's like I felt the support was never there. To this day, I feel like, man, it would mean a lot if you would just like look over and like, you feel what I'm saying? Like just pat me on the back. Like, yo, you're doing a good job. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just shit like that obviously I don't really need it at this age because I'm like filling my own cup. Right. But you grow up with that. So there's still that void that you feel like you gotta fill. Right. So I owe it to myself to be honest. I don't have no reason to lie. There's a lesson in that. If I'm honest in my music and I'm honest about my situation, somebody else is going through the same thing or somebody's going through something worse or somebody's going through maybe even something better, but they're going through something. If I share it, they might find some inspiration in it, some motivation in it. Even if it's one person, I pride myself on that. Just one. Give me one person. You know, a lot of people want the crowd of 1,000 people. I want one person. Because if I help one, I did my job. I did my duty as a human. You know?
Dang.
Our stories are here to help others, dog.
Is it difficult for you to set aside the numbers in the sense of, bruh, fuck the followers, fuck the listeners, fuck the stream numbers. I just want to put out music that means something to me.
It was difficult at first. It was very difficult. Because as dope as I think I am,
And you are.
Thank you so much. Or like people around me, they see the potential, right? It sucks when you upload a song and it's only getting like 20 views or whatever, right?
You put your heart, soul into that shit.
But I was viewing it from the perspective of somebody who wanted 1,000 views.
Right.
I get 20 now, and I appreciate those 20 because those are 20.
Right.
Now I'm looking at it from but I got 20 though. I'm cool with it.
Right.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not looking for the 1,000 or 2,000. And I feel like if I focus on that, then the rest will come.
I also think that it's like we've become so numb to what a following is. You know, obviously everybody wants the 1 million followers. But if you have 2,000, bro, can you picture 2,000 people? Like if you put 2,000 people in here, we wouldn't be able to breathe. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, it's not 2 million followers, but you still have to like put into perspective certain things, which I feel is something that a lot of artists sometimes lack in. And it all goes back to the overthinking, the overanalyzing, the judging yourself, will this song, be fire? Will this song receive traction? And there's also such a fucking, like a random equation for what works and what doesn't work. Because I'm sure you've had the experience that you thought a certain song was going to go completely viral and then it didn't, or something that you thought that you put 5 minutes of time or effort into it and then it blows up. Has that happened to you before that maybe you didn't think that certain things were going to pop and they didn't, or you thought certain things were going to pop and they didn't?
Yeah, man, I've done songs where it's just like whatever about them. And then I'll show them to people and they're like, yo, this is crazy. But I feel whatever about it.
Right.
And then there's songs that I'm crazy about and people are just not so crazy about it.
Right.
I should stop dealing with expectations, though. With expectations, I stopped looking for these things. Right. I just started focusing on what matters. If I got one person looking at me, then I cater to that one person. Right. Not in terms of changing who I am for that person, but in terms of giving them the attention that they're giving me. You know?
Right, of course.
That's how I make that connection. A genuine connection. I'm not doing it just for the connection because I know that's how the game goes. It's like, yo, this person's paying me attention or DMing me or whatever, and they want to have a conversation. Let's go. Let's have a conversation. What do you want to know?
Hell
what do you want to know? What you want to learn? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'll put it in the bucket, and then you pick from there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful right now, and I'm gonna always be grateful for whoever listens, whether it's 1 or 10 or 1,000 or 1 million people. It doesn't, you know.
Brother, and your gratitude rubs off. I can tell your gratitude from a mile away, man. You're a genuine person, brother, and I appreciate you joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about? We have 3 segments, and the last one is actually the quest for the truth. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, yeah. And in this segment, I pick a random card from this here deck of cards that is filled with questions, and we asked this here question on the air. I have no idea what it's going to be, so just a heads up. You know what I'm saying? And here we go. All right, this is a good one. I normally kind of skip a couple because they'll get a little bit too intimate. They'll be last week it was like, oh, can you forgive your high school bully? And I was like, brother, this is a little too intense right now.
Nah, listen, you can ask me whatever. But if there's a question in there that just sounds like, I don't want to answer that, or it's like, you know,
of course,
sometimes these card games are a little too corny, so it's like I'm not even gonna.
Of course. But I think this is actually very applicable to everything that we've been speaking about today.
Okay.
And the recent event that you had. So even though it's crunch time, what do you need to do by the end of the year to make this year meaningful?
What do I need to do by the end of the year?
Which is not a long time.
Let me answer that. What do I need to do? Man, I think if I continue attacking my goals, my day-to-day goals, and I make it to the end of the year alive, I think that would be meaningful enough. I know it's just I'm not expecting that much. It's just day-to-day goals. I got to finish the album. I got to do this, whatever. And then just continue living. Just continue doing you, continue pushing it out, continue meeting people, continue being myself. That would be meaningful to me if I make it alive being myself. You feel me?
Are you the type that lives life day to day, or are you planning, a lot in advance?
No, I'm planning a lot in advance in terms of like, no expectations. Like, oh, next year I'm going to be performing here.
Right.
Because then when it doesn't come through, then you feel a little bit bad about yourself. But I could put out the energy of like, I want to perform there and let me maximize my connections to get there. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then I fell in love with the journey of getting there.
Damn.
You feel what I'm saying? Like I enjoy the journey and the process of getting there rather than if it happens or it doesn't happen. Because that's the game. That's the game. That's where it's at. You feel what I'm saying? The anticipation, the lessons, the falling down and meeting this person and getting let down, whatever. That journey, that's where it's at. You feel me?
You're a wise soul, my brother. A wise soul.
Thank you.
Of course. Phenomenal answer. And kind of on the same branch note, I don't know if you have a similar answer, but do you have any New Year's resolutions for this upcoming year?
New Year's resolutions. I definitely want to perform more.
Okay.
I definitely want to perform more. I feel like I'm stepping into my Dave Chappelle era where I want to step into the smallest spots. You feel me?
Real intimate.
Very intimate, unannounced. You know what I'm saying? Just show up and like really get that experience in the most like random places.
Damn.
You know? I really want to be a great performer. And at the moment I'm good, but like I'm just showing myself. I'm going up there and rapping, right? But the inexperience is like leading me down a different path when it comes to thinking about it.
What do you think makes a great performer?
The experience, for sure. The experience and the thought process of like I'm displaying to the crowd who I am. I've learned that very, very quickly. Getting on stage and trying to please everybody is going to lead to a bad performance. Getting on stage and like thinking, what is this person thinking? Right? Leads to a bad performance.
Right.
If you go up there and you focus on you, I'm here to show you, me, like, then that's what makes a great performance.
Have you ever been in a performance before where maybe you had some sort of heckler, or maybe certain people were on their phone and that kind of got to your head, something along those lines? Or when you hit the stage, it's just you and the
I haven't
mic?
been in many performances, but from the ones that I've actually participated in, I haven't been heckled yet.
Okay,
I'm waiting for that. I'm gonna light their ass on fire.
He said, I stay prepared, bro.
I'm gonna start getting my comedy bag and start flavor this. Nah, but it's like, I can recall it's just this very intimate situation where I was performing, right? And I was unprepared and I'm like, rapping over the beat or whatever. And I'm focusing too much on the people looking at me. And I would stumble upon my words or whatever. Keep the show going, but
Right.
It's like, and that's me being as honest as possible. It's just those moments. That's what I remember.
Right. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, how do I put into words what a phenomenal episode we have had today? Can we please give it up for Mr. Apollo Lofton? Apollo, brother, thank you so much, for joining us today. Truly an insightful episode. I thank you for giving us the opportunity to pick your brain a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get some stories of determination and perseverance.
Yes.
Brother, you're motivational and inspirational, and you've inspired me today.
Thank you so much.
And I'm sure that you've inspired our listeners as well. Before we get to our outro, I always like to wrap up with a last question, and I think this one I'm very excited for, especially for you, Mr. Apollo Lofton. If you could give the Apollo Lofton of let's say a 13-year-old Apollo Lofton, if you could give him any advice, what would it be?
Any advice? Any advice to the 13-year-old Apollo Lofton? Zone out, and whatever it is that you want to do, it's already in you, dog. You're just gonna have to zone out. Just quiet all the outside noise out. You feel me? Especially at 13. At 13, I was going through a rough time, so just drown out all the outside noise, and just focus on you. You got it in you. You know, just like something simple. You know?
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You go on Spotify, you go on Deezer, you go on Apple Podcasts. Bro, you send me a DM, I'll get you a damn cassette. You know what I'm saying? I'll figure it out, bro. We hustlers out here. You know what I'm saying? But more than anything, you hit the YouTube. Because like I said, that's why we got 72 cameras in here. That's how you get to see everybody's fashion sense. You know what I'm saying? The man came correct. Apollo Lofton, talk to us about social media. Where can they follow
well, if
your
anybody's
journey?
interested in following me, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, any social media you might have at Apollo Lofton. APOLLOLOFTON. Apollo Lofton. If you want to find my music, I'm on Apple Music, Spotify, I'm on Tidal, I'm on SoundCloud, I'm on Audio Mac. I'm in your grandma's CD player. I'm everywhere. You feel what I'm saying? So just check me out, man. The new album is coming and it's going to be special.
That's facts, bro. My grandmother, she took out Phil Collins, put that Apollo Lofton in. You know what I'm saying? That's facts.
That's the rumor.
Hey. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you so much for having me. Just like I said off of camera, your setup is ridiculously dope. Your presentation is dope. And the amount of time that you took into the detail, even the table is dope. You feel what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. And I can definitely see you blowing up, my brother.
Man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that tremendously. The door is always open for you.
Thank you so much.
Whenever you want, the door's open. And we love to have another episode with you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
We will. Give us a couple of years.
Of
and
course.
We'll touch back on where we've been at and how we got there.
That's what I'm talking about. Do you have anything for the people before we wrap up?
For the people, no, I think I've given you a fair share of myself. You feel me? I'm just really excited to show y'all that next album. That's definitely what I'm excited for. You feel me? So again, if anybody's interested, follow my journey. I got this album coming out. Chaos is Necessary next year. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Last thing, what was the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome for this album?
The biggest hurdle?
Yep.
The biggest hurdle I had to overcome was the deep conversations I had to have with my father and my mother.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So, like my father being very distant with me and like me growing up without him really there, trying to figure shit out, right? I actually, on his deathbed, what was supposed to be his deathbed, at the beginning of 2020, my father was dying in the hospital. He was, his lungs was just failing on him. He was spitting out blood. Doctors didn't even know what was going on, right? And on what was supposed to be his deathbed is when I actually built up the courage to just have a conversation with him, which is like not many conversations that I've had with him. But, we clocked in. We clocked in for like 6-7 hours just talking. I let him know everything that I felt. I let him know everything that I was thinking about, what I thought of, how I think of him, my perception of him. And I basically, asked him questions and like wondering like, who are you? Because I don't know you that much. And it was very hard, but that was one of the biggest hurdles. And then the conversation with my mother, the conversation of like, I understand that she's homeless now, and she's either losing or lost her battle to drug addiction, right? So that conversation of picking her up, yo, come here, and just chopping it up with her, and having that same conversation I had with my father with her, to kind of just like get it out of me,
right?
When I walked out of that hospital with my dad, I felt extremely light. It was something unexplainable. It was kind of like a rebirth type of joint. Like I walked out, but I was super light. Like I took off all this pressure off of my shoulders, and I really, really understood that feeling and what it meant to just get it out of you.
Right.
I felt like I was levitating, like I was floating to my car.
Wow.
And then obviously my perspective on my father changed. It was no longer this person that I didn't know, or it was no longer my father. It was another human being, another man. And I understood his story and why he was the way with me. And you know what I'm saying? Like I understood him as a man. Mm-hmm. And I understood that his process and his journey as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like how he failed in certain things and how, I saw him for what he was. And the same thing with my mother. So that was one of the biggest hurdles for this album, because I really wanted to just be the best version of myself on this album. And I knew in order to be the best version of myself, I have to conquer what's within, what's bothering me.
Right.
I have to heal that, And on the album, I have a song about my mother being homeless. It's a personal song, but it's needed.
It's needed.
I want to share that, and I want to continue sharing that story. It's complex to even think about your mother being homeless, but I'm living it. And like, you know, that's one of the biggest hurdles.
I commend you for your growth, my brother. I
Thank you so
truly
much.
do. I truly do. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what it is. Holla.
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel.